Maria became a mother the same day she became completely alone. Daniel was only a few months old when his father walked away, without even looking back. That night, Maria sat on the floor of the small room they were renting, holding her baby close to her chest. She didn't cry loudly. She just whispered one sentence over and over again. "I will not fail you. I promise." From that day on, her life was no longer hers. She woke up before the sun every morning. She cleaned people's houses until her back hurt. She carried heavy buckets of water for families who could afford to pay her a few coins. At night she washed clothes while Daniel slept beside her on a thin mattress. Sometimes her hands shook from exhaustion, but she would look at his tiny face and continue working. When Daniel learned how to walk, he used to hold her dress so he wouldn't fall. When he learned how to talk, the first word he said clearly was not "mama." It was "don't cry," because even though she tried to hide it, children always know. Years passed slowly, like every day was carrying a weight. There were nights when Maria didn't eat at all, pretending she had already eaten at work. Daniel would push his plate toward her and say, "You can have some." She would smile and answer softly, "No, my son, I'm full already." But after he slept, she would drink water just to stop the hunger. The day Daniel started school, Maria followed him quietly after dropping him at the gate. She stood far away. Watching him walk into the classroom alone, she felt proud, but also scared. She knew the world was not kind to children from poor homes. Still, she whispered to herself, "One day, he will stand in front of everyone, and I will be there clapping." That became her dream, not a house, not money, not comfort. Just one day, one graduation. As Daniel grew older, he started noticing things he had never understood before. The way his mother coughed at night, the way she held her chest sometimes when she thought he wasn't looking, the way her steps had become slower. But every time he asked, she would smile and say, "I'm just tired. When you graduate, I will rest." Daniel studied harder than anyone in his class. While others slept, he stayed awake. While others complained, he stayed silent. Because deep inside, he knew something his mother didn't say. She was fighting time, finally. Graduation day arrived. Maria woke up earlier than usual that morning. She wore the same blue dress she had worn only twice before, once when Daniel joined school, and once when he won a small prize in primary. It was a little faded now, but she smoothed it carefully like it was the most beautiful dress in the world. When Daniel walked across the stage in his gown, he searched the crowd until he saw her. She was standing, clapping, crying, and smiling at the same time in that moment. He didn't see a poor woman who had struggled all her life. He saw the strongest person he had ever known. After the ceremony, he ran to her and hugged her tightly. "Mum, I did it. I did it because of you." Maria placed her hand gently on his cheek, just like she used to when he was a child. "I told you I wouldn't fail you," she whispered softly. Her hand slowly slipped from his face. Her body became still in his arms, but her smile never disappeared. It was as if her heart had waited for only one thing, to see her son succeed. And once she saw it, it finally allowed her to rest. Daniel cried like a child that day, holding the woman who had given him everything, even her last breath. But in the silence that followed, he made a promise he would never break. He would live a life that would make her proud every single day, not because she was still alive, but because her love would always be. A few days after the funeral, Daniel was cleaning her small home, the way she had always kept it. On her bed, he found a folded envelope with his name written in her careful, slightly shaky handwriting. He recognized it immediately. Maria had always saved her strength to write for him. With trembling hands, he opened it. Inside, the paper smelled faintly of soap and a perfume, the scent that had comforted him all his life. The letter read, "My dearest Daniel, if you are reading this, it means I am no longer there to hold you, to scold you, to love you with all the tiredness and joy I could muster. I want you to know that every sleepless night, every skipped meal, every ache in my body, I endured it all because of you. You were and always will be my greatest purpose, remember. Life will not always be easy and the world will not always be kind. But you have something no one can take from you, the courage to keep going, and the love you carry in your heart. Live well, my son. Study, laugh, cry, dream, and never forget that I believed in you even when I was too tired to speak. And Daniel, never feel sorrow for me. I am proud beyond words more than life itself. I am with you in every step you take, in every victory, in every tear. Love forever, Mum. Daniel sank to the floor. Daniel sank to the floor, the letter pressed against his chest. Tears streamed down his face uncontrollably. He felt her presence there, stronger than ever, a mother's love that no death could erase. From that moment, he knew that every accomplishment, every act of kindness, every struggle he overcame, would carry her spirit with him. Maria had given him the world even in her absence, and he promised silently through his sobs and heartbreak, "I will make you proud, Mum, every single day." Daniel never forgot the promise he made the day his mother died in his arms. Every success he achieved, he did it for Maria. Years passed, and the poor boy who studied under a broken lamp became a successful man. He worked harder than anyone else, never complaining, never wasting money, never forgetting where he came from. People respected him. They admired his discipline. They called him strong, but inside, he was still the same boy who had lost the only person who truly loved him. One day, he met a woman named Vanessa. She was beautiful, confident, elegant, the kind of woman who made people turn their heads when she walked into a room. Daniel had never loved anyone before, so when she showed him attention, he thought it was fate. He believed maybe his mother had sent someone to make his life happier. They married quickly at first. Everything felt perfect. Vanessa smiled in public, held his hand in front of people, and told everyone how lucky she was to have him. Daniel felt proud. For the first time since his mother died, he felt like life was finally giving him peace. But slowly, things began to change. Vanessa didn't like the small house he had grown up in. She said it was embarrassing. She didn't like the way he saved money. She said he behaved like a poor man even though he was successful. She hated hearing him talk about his mother. One night when he mentioned Maria, Vanessa laughed coldly and said, "Your mother struggled because she was weak. If she was smart, she wouldn't have suffered like that." Daniel froze. It felt like someone had stabbed his heart. He didn't shout. He didn't fight, but from that moment, something inside him broke. Every insult she made reminded him of the woman who had sacrificed everything for him. Instead of feeling loved, he felt guilty, like he had betrayed his mother by marrying someone who had no respect for her. The marriage became a nightmare. Vanessa became colder, more demanding, more hateful. She wanted more money, more comfort, more control. Daniel worked harder, thinking he could fix everything, but nothing changed. The love he had once felt turned into pain. And then the day came when she said the words that destroyed everything. "I want a divorce." Daniel didn't fight her. He was too tired, too broken, too empty. He signed the papers quietly, thinking at least the pain would end. But the real pain had only just begun. Vanessa took everything, the house, the savings, the business he had built for years. When it was over, Daniel found himself exactly where he had started in life, alone, poor and heartbroken. The only difference was this time, his mother was not there to hold him. For months, he lived like a shadow. He worked small jobs again, ate little, spoke to almost no one. People who once respected him now looked at him with pity. Some even laughed behind his back. But one night, sitting alone in his small room, he found the letter his mother had written before she died. "My dearest Daniel, never forget, you are stronger than the world that tries to break you." He cried like a child, and that night he decided something would change. He started again, from zero, just like Maria had once done. He worked day and night, slowly, little by little. Life began to move forward again. It was not fast, it was not easy, but Daniel had learned something most people never understand. When you have already lost everything, fear disappears. Years passed. He became successful again, not because he wanted wealth this time, but because he wanted peace. But he never trusted love again. Whenever someone showed interest in him, he stepped back. He remembered the insults, the betrayal, the humiliation. He believed love only existed for people who had never suffered, until one day he met her. Her name was Grace. She was not loud, not arrogant, not proud. She didn't care about his money. She didn't care about his past success. What touched him most was something very small. The first time she heard him talk about his mother, She didn't interrupt, didn't laugh, didn't change the topic. She simply said softly, "She must have been an incredible woman." Daniel looked at her and felt something he had not felt in years. Peace. Grace never tried to impress him. She never asked for anything. She respected his silence, his pain, his memories. Slowly, the fear inside him began to disappear. For the first time, love didn't feel like danger. It felt safe. They married quietly, without noise, without pride, without showing the world anything. And this time, love stayed. Years later, their home was filled with something Daniel had never believed he would have again: laughter. Grace gave him 2 beautiful children. Sometimes he would sit quietly and watch them play, unable to believe that life had given him a second chance. One evening, his daughter asked him, "Daddy, why do you smile when you look at Mummy?" Daniel looked at Grace, who was laughing softly in the kitchen, and then he answered, "Because she healed a heart I thought was already dead." That night, as he held Grace's hand, he whispered something he had never said to anyone before. "You didn't just love me. You saved me." And somewhere deep inside, Daniel felt that his mother was finally at peace too. Because the boy she had raised in pain had finally found a love that was gentle, kind, and real. He lost everything once, but this time, life gave him something that could never be taken away. A family built on love. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to subscribe, because there are many more beautiful stories waiting for you here.